What's going on, family? This is episode 46 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. What's Good himself, Israel.
What's good?
And you know we got a doctor in the house because we got Luke in the building.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
What is going on, fellas? Y'all know how this go. How was y'all weekend?
Man, I actually remember my weekend. It was good. It started off good. No work on Friday. Headed up. Went out to Chicago. Church anniversary. Hung out with some high school friends. Got a motorcycle, bring it back down. Then it was work. And here it is Monday morning. And it didn't. It was leading good, but leading into Friday, I don't know. This point in my life is probably called burning bridges, but ain't the best choices that have happened. But I'm far from perfect, but that's life. But yeah, here we are. It's Monday, another day to be great. How was y'all weekend?
Yours was more exciting than mine, bro. Same old, basically. Moving and grooving, bro. Not really too much exciting stuff going on. They had a celebration for my grandmother yesterday, so um, you know,
Yeah, I want to
we-
touch on that. Go ahead.
yeah, so we knocked that out. We got a few more things lined up this week, so just a little busy season. So I'm kind of a tunnel-minded type of person. I try to just knock stuff out. Like I don't know. I don't really dwell in it too much. I'm a I'm a taskmaster, like for real. So my biggest concern over the weekend was just getting through it, so then I can focus on everything that I got to do this week. So it's basically like a week to week process for me. But other than that, all is well, man.
Well, let's. I want to talk about, just to piggyback off what you just said about, the Dr. Candace Queen Shifra, my first spiritual teacher. Um, I don't think we talked about. Have we had a segment to talk about the Queen?
Mm,
Nope,
uh,
I don't think so.
Well,
Not
I
to my
mean,
knowledge.
no time like right now because of the celebration and the things that was going on at Faith Temple, uh, Coptic Church, City of Love, Truth, and Deliverance. Um, I can just speak for myself, and Luke, you can, whatever you want to say about your grandmother, you can go ahead. But from my just her being my first spiritual teacher, um, I remember a lot of times, like the one thing that always stuck in my head with the Candace Queen was her always telling me, or telling the church, what you do for God will last. That is something that has stuck with me. Like I keep hearing her
Mm.
voice. I keep hearing her voice when that is being reminded. I just hear her. And the importance of what I think people misunderestimate the power of what she represented, which was love. I don't think people really understand what love really is.
That's crazy you say that. Because in the church over the weekend, at my church anniversary, the high priest said, love. You don't know love until you have given it away. I'm like, man, that's deep thought, deep truth right there.
Yeah, so just like I say, my first spiritual teacher, the person who sat me down and taught me back to myself, and taught me about the Coptic faith and taught me about, you know, my place. She taught multiple classes, in different degrees. As I sat with her being a student, I sat with her being a prince, I sat with her being armor bearer. I sat with her through a lot of things, and her power or her ability to chastise me. A lot of people have different stories of how people do things, but the way she used to be with me, it was always a gentle but stern, get yourself together. And she had no problem. Like, I was always one of her babies. Like, okay, yeah, that's my aunt, but as like being in the tribe, being, having that spiritual mother figure outside of my natural mother, to really get me in line with, the best, trying to pull the best out of me and not only do it in a way of just being the best, but being kind and showing love to people will forever stick with me. Um, because like I say, that's my first teacher. Everybody remembers they first. That bonding, that connection is different. But I wasn't able to be in town for that service. But like I say, when we have our podcast, we're able to, have our own time, maybe get a little more personal and intimate with certain subjects and things that's going on. And I just want to take the time to talk about that right off the top.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna stay on it too long. I ain't, I deal with things a little different. Um, my grandmother was probably one of the closest people in my life, so it hit me a little hard. Not so much of her dying, but what I dealt with after she passed away, and just the people. I deal with these people week in and week out, so sometimes, it becomes a little stressful. Um, Hands on, what they say, boots on the ground type stressful. I'm not really able to deal with certain things from a far distance. I'm kind of like in the nitty gritty of it. So I've been wrestling with these people for 3 years since she's passed away, and it's been very different because her presence brought a sense of order that I had got acquainted with, just from being a young man in our way of life. So you know how they always say when grandma passed away, and nobody, it ain't the same no more. The barbecues ain't the same. The family gatherings ain't the same. And I could definitely say that for our nation. Not even to just try to boast her up, because my grandmother did her work. She did what she can to contribute to our way of life, from teaching many classes and working with people all throughout the nation. I've come across people I don't even know, and they got more stories. They probably got more experience with my grandmother than I do. So but it's hard because when you see what, like, now, it my stomach turns a little bit sometimes, and I know that's just something that I'm working with. So I don't know if it's a lot of the times, that could just be the way that I grieve, because I'm not a big crier. You ain't gonna see me slobbing everywhere. I love her to death, but I just mourn different. But this is one of the reasons why I work so hard to try to advance our way of life. I really feel like if I don't, my entire existence is in vain. My whole life has been built around the Coptic nation. The sacrifices, I didn't have a grandmother that could come and, travel with me and do all things, because she spent so much time with other people, and she was dedicated to her charge. And her charge required her grandchildren to have a different type of relationship with people, because you find yourself in a public eye, or you find yourself being scrutinized because you come from somebody like her. So you don't just get to live, you have to live according to the generations and the legacy that was laid for you. So it's a little hard sometimes, but I get through it. That's why I say I just try to look at it like a task type thing. I don't get too deep into it. I didn't even know. I didn't even know like half of them was wearing blue until Sunday. You know what I mean? And I'm in the family, but stuff like that really don't bother me because, like I said, with my grandmother, she was Like I know what she left for me, and my charge wasn't to look pretty. My charge wasn't to be the one that was seen. Sometimes the backhand work is what get the show going. So I use that to kind of motivate me in these times because I know that's what she would want. A lot of people want to be seen, but sometimes you're more effective when you're not seen as much, but you're still doing what's needed to be done. So I just kind of use her as motivation sometimes because as Solomon would say, and I'm pretty sure as Israel has witnessed himself, she could be whatever was needed. She'll be the singer or she'll be the queen. She'll be the teacher. She'll be the one charging. She'll lead the line. She'll be in the back of the line. She'll march with the princess. She'll march with. I mean, you just do what you have to do. It's a business, and as much as I knew that's how she really articulated it as a business. A lot of people didn't know that about the queen. It wasn't personal for her a lot of times. This is why stuff didn't bother her as much because it was like this is the job of a teacher or this is the job of a steward or whatever you may be. You just do the job. If you can't handle the job, get a job to somebody else. That's how her mentality was. She was just so kind with it that a lot of people didn't really know she was like that type of hardcore. So I take that and I run with that. But what we do here at the podcast or what we do, whatever we doing in our lives. So I appreciate it. I miss her a lot, but time can't be here for forever. So
Yeah, we all definitely miss her. Whew. Well, I didn't say how my weekend was, um, because it was work. So
Work, work, work,
um,
work.
yeah, it was work. I've been meeting some interesting people down here in Atlanta though. And shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to um all of the people in Atlanta that's really been tuning in and been subscribing. Shout out to Atlanta. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Atlanta been showing out. That's why I got this hat on. Atlanta been showing out. So I definitely appreciate all the new subscribers, the people who was tuning in. All right. Let's get to the first topic, fellas. Drum roll. All right. So you know who really need to sit down. Oh, wait. Before I get to that, y'all remember my little segment? It's always every once in a while. Is it disrespectful? All right, fellas. Here's the segment of Is it disrespectful? So Tank and his girlfriend, his baby mama, whoever it is, her sister came to oh, it's not, hey grandma be stepping. Hey, it ain't a Pharaohs podcast without grandma coming in saying, hey. Um, so fellas, is it disrespectful? So Tank girlfriend, the R&B singer Tank, his girlfriend's sister is living with them, right? And her sister is walking around the house basically without many clothes on. Okay. So Tank decided to actually say something to his wife about it. And his wife was like, well, you could basically, move out until my sister get on her feet. So fellas, is it disrespectful for Tank to say something about his sister's wife? I mean, his girlfriend's wife. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm saying this all wrong. His girlfriend's sister to be walking around the house with half naked clothes on.
That's his girlfriend or his wife?
It's his girlfriend, sister.
Some people just raised differently and they have no decency with their lifestyle. And everybody don't want to see everything you got. She may not be his style, but it would be like the respectful decency if you in somebody else's house to at least dress accordingly. I don't think he disrespectful for saying something. That's the problem. People don't say anything these days. They just let everything be. They let the children go run wild, cry all over the place, tear things up, and then don't nobody say nothing. But if you say something, now they feel a certain type of way, and they might actually start acting better or something. But of course, they gonna feel bad because ain't nobody never say nothing.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that would have been the end of the relationship for me. I ain't even gonna lie to you. The response she gave, yeah, that would have been the end right there. Um, no, I don't think he was. Man, look, ain't no way. First off, you said you talking about Tank Davis.
no, Tank the singer.
Oh, Tank the singer. Okay,
Uh,
cool. Even
It was
still
he
high net
was
worth.
right. She was wrong. She shouldn't have had to say anything about it at all. It's all about respect. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And she ain't got none.
I mean, di- I don't even really know how she came up with that type of response.
Yeah,
Because
she
if I'm
told him to
not,
move out into my. She's like, move out to my sister. If you don't like it, why you looking at my sister anyway? You move out until my sister get on her feet.
and I want to talk about that real quick. This is why I say it doesn't matter how good you look or how much money you have. You gotta, as a man, you have to have a certain amount of self-respect. And this is probably why I'm gonna be forever alone. But I just think the level, like, where have you built your relationship to where, as a man, he's a wealthy man. He does good for himself. He's a famous man. He's at one of the top percent. Let's be real. So he has options, right? So for him, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he probably owns that residence. So I just all but I would look at him like you a goofy because how have you allowed your relationship in the way this woman who you are supporting, meaning she's living with you, she's your girlfriend, you're doing your job, your obligations, to even think to say something like that to you? That would make me think like, what else does she say to you? We seen this situation with what's his name, Neo or something, the bald head one, the guy with his girlfriend. She was making a video and she was cussing him out and you this and you that. Mind you, he's in his house. I don't understand how they let these relationships get to that point. And this is why I don't get mad at the women. I get mad at the men because why are you even dealing with it? I have no pity for you in any kind of way because it's your home, it's your woman, you chose her, right? And you gonna let her say something like that to you because you something wrong with you. Now she was wild for saying that. He was definitely not wrong for addressing it because he probably just addressed it like, hey, this is inappropriate. I don't want to have no time. I understand we helping your sister, but let her know she has to dress this way. But man, for her to respond that way, like I say, I can only imagine what else she say because I
I
just
mean,
can't see.
I heard also that he has to keep his location on at all times. I think it's part of their marriage agreement or whatever relationship
So
they
they're
got
married
going on.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
so it's like
Okay.
they whatever agreement they got going, like he has to keep his location on at all times.
Is that reciprocated?
I don't know. I just know that
See,
that's
I don't
what.
like doing stuff that's not reciprocated. Like
It's
if
probably
you,
it probably is reciprocated, but to me, still, for what he take care of you 9 times out of 10, he take care of everything. So then they'll say, "Oh well, I call him cheating." When it's they gonna get mad at me because I'm finna say it, but it is what it is because I didn't make none of this stuff happen. I didn't like I don't have a magic wand where I'm telling people to do stuff. This is Tank we're talking about, and I'm big on stuff like this because we always gotta respect people's relationships. So if they had an agreement to where he was like, oh, okay, this is what I agreed to and I broke it, so this is what I'm gonna do, I could kind of get that. But if it's just the oh no, I don't want you doing that, you need to do it like it sounded a little controlling to me. And in my mind, if you can control stuff so well, pay all the bills. Do what I
Mm,
do. If you want to control my life
mm.
that much,
Hold on,
take
wait,
care of
wait.
it.
Let's all do that in unison. 1, 2, 3. Mm.
mm.
That I don't know, but hey, to each man they own. Whatever he did, hey, he must really love her because that's some wild stuff to me.
What
I
did
ain't
he
gonna lie.
say after that? What did he say after that?
Um, I gotta see what was the whole
But
story
just
after,
like,
but I just want to know what y'all thought, fellas, on that because I ain't had a is it disrespectful segment in a long time, so I want to throw
I
that
was,
one in there.
Tank out
So
here
that
simping. That's what it is. I'm gonna call it like it is. I'll say
I
what
was,
it is.
I like to know what was his response to that, because I know
if he left, if
it's
he
like,
left, I don't know what to say about Tank no more.
no, because it's like, I mean, I ain't gonna say. I just want to know his response, because I know with me, I get when in certain situations. I ain't gonna say I get offended, but I get offended. Disrespect. Well, my disrespect me. I ain't gonna. It depends on where I'm at that level and the situation and some things. But I don't know. When I'm disrespected by certain people, I'm gonna draw back a lot of stuff. And I won't even say it. I'm gonna just fall back. I'm gonna fall back and I'm gonna take away, fall back and take away. So whether that's if I was spending time with you, I ain't spending that much time with you no more. You ain't coming over here no more. I'm not finna be doing it, and it's like you slowly waning off. You got to figure out what you did because you know we was wrong when you was wrong, and then I'm acting funny because of what you disrespected me. But hey, you gotta have some type of respect for yourself. So I know I draw back. I'm like, oh yeah, all right.
Look, I'm gonna
So
just say just a
I'm
quick
gonna
answer.
I'm gonna head
Yes,
out.
this
What
it
is
was
it? I'm gonna
disrespectful.
head out. I'm gonna just head out. I'm gonna go back here. Yeah. Back.
I'm gonna just answer and I'm gonna just give a quick. It's disrespectful. Because you know what I would do. Because if you gonna talk to me like that, I'm gonna say, well, I mean, I was just saying something, before I asked your sister, what we doing. I'm on my future stuff. What he say? I don't care if they was real sisters.
Oh snap! He on
Yeah,
future.
I'm on that type of time, and I don't care if they was real sisters. What's up? Why your sister walking around my house naked?
She trying to
She
send a
was she
message.
trying to seduce me? Well, I'm finna get seduced.
Now
I'm about to succumb to it.
they say we don't be picking up hints, so that was probably a hint and he missed it. I don't know. When a woman be flirting with men, you know, trying to
Hey,
throw
what
the
they
bait
say?
out
Don't
there.
threaten me with a good time.
I'm
That's
honestly
that's that.
surprised. I'm
That's
surprised
type of
he.
time, and I'm on. Okay, don't threaten me with no good time. All right, fellas, let's get to the first topic. That wasn't even the first topic. I just wanted to ask, was that disrespectful? All right, we gonna talk about the first thing we talking about today is Drake. All right, so fellas, update on the Drake situation and his lawsuit against the Universal Music Group UMG. Okay, they saying that he didn't won basically because the the lawsuit, they want the lawsuit to be dropped. They want the lawsuit to be dropped, and they're ready to settle out of court for $250 million.
Mm.
They saying 250 mil, but hold on, it's a little bit of what they call it, the catch. It's a catch to it, right?
That's
He dropped
22.
the lawsuit, he get the 250 million, and for him to do this, he has to re-sign with UGM,
Ooh.
UMG.
Ooh. Ooh. I don't know about
Yeah,
that. 'Cause them deals be atrocious these days. And he just got out of deal. Didn't he just get out of deal? What do you say? 360? Hey, it's a max. Something like that.
they just gave him 400 million.
Ain't he done with it though?
Is he done? No, I don't think so.
With that contract? That's crazy. They're
I
gonna
don't
have
think he's
him
done with it.
locked up in a contract
Yeah,
for a
they want
minute.
him to resign. So, fellas, let's take a little deep dive into the lawsuit and how it's going so far. What they also wanted, also in the news, he wanted to see Kendrick Lamar's contract. One judge is like, I don't think so, but the prosecutors are saying like, nah, let's try to get to the real bottom of what's really going on, and let's see Kendrick Lamar's contract. So, fellas, y'all weigh in on this whole Drake situation, how it's going so far. Because I mean, this sore loser is starting to become a winner. If you getting paid $250, I don't know if I do that contract though. I think that's like y'all playing chess. They gonna give you the 250, but you gotta we give you the
Yeah,
250, but it's coming back some type of way.
yeah, that's what it is. It's like a chess move right there, what they call a fork. Where it's like, yeah, boom, we gonna do this. Now you either gonna be screwed this way or screwed this way. So which way you want to go? Either way, it's a bad deal. So it's like, yeah, he got to figure that out. Either drop it or keep it going and milk him for the money, or take the plea and then resign. But then it's just like they just giving themselves money at that point, right? They giving him money, and he gonna get that money right back, and they, like you said, it's going right back in their pocket. So it's gonna be like a stalemate, chess move, stalemate. Nobody wins, but nobody loses.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he don't take the deal. Um, I mean, if he really was trying to get down to the bottom of it, he probably wouldn't take it if it's an embarrassment thing he trying to do. He probably not gonna take it. But I mean, money is money. 250 mil to him is a little different. It's not that big of a deal. You're not gonna lose no sleep if you don't get it. Um, but if I'm trying to prove my point for my pride, he not gonna take that deal. If he fighting this case for a pride thing, he gonna want to show everything because he's trying to prove that, of course, they pushed the song more. So he just feels like it was an unfair advantage. He's going all the way down to the box, and I think that's why he wants them to open up everything as well. Because once it's exposed, he can kind of clean it up. Like, nah, I'm trying to tell y'all, like, it was only the number one hit because of this, that, and the third. And we gotta be honest, the company kind of came up on the stain with this whole situation because you got two of your artists beefing and musically beefing. So you're not doing nothing but making money off of these tracks, off of all of this stuff. You're making a whole bunch of money. So you would kind of want it to kind of keep going as long as possible, as an industry leader or somebody that's ahead of the company. Come on. They may never say it, but they definitely see how the numbers are different. So they're gonna try to ride that wave as long as possible. So that's my opinion on it. I don't
Right.
think he
It's
gonna.
it's good for publicity, and especially when it ain't nothing going on for real, you got to make something up. So this is the something, just so that they could be relevant, stay relevant.
Yeah, but this something turned into one of the number one hip hop songs of the year last year. Like this was a something that turned like a nothing that really turned into a something. And then it's of course it's the image thing that bothers him as well. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see if he takes it. I don't. If I had to put a wager, I would say he won't even take the deal.
I don't know, man. 250 million is a lot of money, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but what happens when you're already a multimillionaire? Is it as much? Is $20 as much? When you got,
Okay,
a
you
hundred
comparing $20 to 250 million is crazy.
No, I'm not. I'm saying if you got $100,000 in the bank and then you open your window and $20 fly out the window, you're not going. You might be like, dang, that's messed up, but you ain't gonna be like, no. Like I say, if it legacy, once you get enough money, this something I remember my granddaddy talking to me about before he passed away. Once you get enough money, you stop caring about it and you care more about your image, your legacy and all of these things. His legacy has been tarnished. So regardless of the money, it depends. He can have so much money to where he's not worried about that. He just want to prove that what he was saying was right. That the reason the
Even
song was the number one song is because they unfairly pushed
they
Kendrick.
use bots.
Right. So he might want to get that. He might sacrifice that 250 mil just to be able to say, I told y'all. I ain't gonna lie, if I was him, I wouldn't take the deal. Not with his network. I mean, yeah,
Man, I don't agree that
what's Drake
his
network, bro? What's his network, bro? What's his
uh,
network?
I
That's
don't
like
agree. I'm gonna look for it. I don't agree though that his legacy is tarnished because he got 2 songs out right now. So I'm just trying to figure out why I mean, it don't matter. Like to me, it
pride.
just don't. He
What
just
what two
lost.
songs he got out? What two songs you
One
talking about?
song is called Nokia. Where that song is like, it's like who's calling
I
my
said two
phone? That
million
song,
is his network
and
right
then
now.
another song is "Give Me a Hug" when he's talking about strippers giving him a
It
hug.
sound like some desperate stuff, but
I
his network,
ain't heard none of
His
that on
net
the radio.
worth is 200 million.
250 million. It's just is what they trying to give him. Two hundred
Right.
It,
So
fifty
then it could be
million.
500.
it ain't gonna be 500 because after lawyer fee, he'll probably walk away with about 75 million after everything if he took the deal. Still got lawyer
Man,
fee,
no, he 75. Come out of
tax,
250. Come on now.
taxes game. Do the numbers. What's the tax return for that level? Taxes. You sound like 250. It's not 250. You gotta once you break it down,
Well,
his walk
I
away.
know it's not exactly 250, but come on, 75 is way ridiculous.
His lawyer's gonna make 50 million,
He probably already paid for them.
bro. I'm telling you, he ain't gonna walk away with the whole 250. He might even not even walk away with 150. I'll be. I'm just saying 75 just in case. Cause what if I was wrong and it could be lower or higher. I would say he might take it, but I don't think he gonna take it, bro. And then you just named 2 songs that don't nobody know.
I know those songs. They sound like he thirsty
They
for a hug.
playing.
Where they play them at on the radio?
Yeah.
I ain't heard them songs. Maybe I ain't know. I still hear dun dun dun. Where that? That's all I hear in my head right now. So
I'm hearing that
It's
less
not
now.
enough.
shoot.
It's not
I'm
enough.
Well, they
Yeah, it's
probably
not
the
enough.
way.
Yeah, he got TV. He got TV off now. He got 30 for 30 with SZA. He got the other song with SZA. So Kendrick got other songs out now that they're pushing more than that. Like that's fading out now. That
I don't
Well,
really
then
so
like
maybe
his
I think he
album
might
now.
take the 250. Then maybe they might. Maybe it might
That's
be like
facts.
he'd be like, all right, we can
so
go
I
get
was
set
gonna
up.
say I don't think he's gonna take the deal because given 250, um, getting that 250 mean he needs to resign. I don't think he wants to resign with them. You're suing your boss. Why would you're suing your company? Why would you go work for them again? So I don't think
Right.
he's going to take it just off the strength of that is one of the catches of him getting it. So they're asking him to drop it. He dropped the lawsuit. He gets 250, but on the back end of that, he needs to also re-sign with them. I don't think he's going to do that.
It depends on what those ramifications was. Like if it's like 4 more albums or 3 more albums, I play around. If I was Drake and I signed it, I play around, do the 3 albums, and they be like 10 songs a piece. He probably already got 30 songs somewhere.
He
Yeah, he
probably
probably.
do. He probably
He
do got some stocked up.
Yeah, he could work them up some stuff. I mean, he might take that deal because you also got to think about the sign-on deal. I mean, how much they gonna offer him for another contract. So that's 250 plus whatever the next deal gonna come with. I mean, money talks, BS walk. So I wouldn't be mad if the brother took the money. Money is money, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
All
I
money
wouldn't
ain't
be
good
mad
money,
at him, but
fool.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All money ain't good money. Some money ain't worth the headache.
This the only money I say ain't good money. If you gotta steal it or if you gotta kill for it. Everything else, I don't know what y'all talking about. I'll take it. If you gotta steal it, I don't want it. If you gotta kill for it, I don't want it. But morals weigh depending on where you at in the world. Some people, hey, if I had the job where I gotta like really hurt somebody, but it's my job, I'ma do it, bro. Because I done been on the other end. You ain't never been there to come cut your lights off. They don't care. They don't care. Hey, they like, hey, bro, I feel sorry for you, bro. You should have paid that bill. Hey, that's how the world works. So I always keep that in mind because ain't nobody really giving mercy and grace out here. Sometimes you just get lucky. But hey, if he take that deal, I ain't mad at him though. I ain't mad at him.
I just don't think he'll do it. I think because you talking about his pride, I think his pride gonna get in the way with that. Is yeah, cool. So basically, you're just giving me another record deal. You just gave me $400 million. So I don't think he's gonna do it. Like he's proven a point. He went this far with it, and they've been in court battling. He's not gonna do it. All right. So another thing that is a battle right now, and this is for our smart listeners right now. We about to get into some real intelligent conversation, family. And we're going to talk about Terrance Howard. Terrance Howard had an interview where he was talking about some the world of physics and Newton's law of gravity. Okay. Him and these people on this podcast basically said that it's wrong. So that's crazy. So let's just take a look at this clip real quick, family, just to see what y'all think. Let's chime into the conversation.
But we cannot see. We cannot feel. Yeah. Even cannot detect. We only know the effect, right? So this is what's wrong with them? They use the Newtonian gravitational equation. Model. That's wrong. I'm sorry. I don't want to offend anybody.
You're not. You did right.
You agree with that one? Newton's gravity equation is actually Newton defined as a universal, called universal. There's a universal gravitational constant,
and it was wrong.
There is no universal.
That's why I was saying constant. Gravity at different places is that it changes depending on the distance from something. All of those things. So it means it's a conditional fact.
Newton's law of universal gravitational.
That's right.
States that every particle in the universe attracts every other particle with a force along a line joining them, and the force is direct. Proportional to the product of masses, inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So you're saying that's incorrect.
That relationship, empirical relationship, we can use, and I already have rewrite this equation. Get rid of this singularity point. So right now, Newton election has a divided by distance r. If r equals 0. So the gravity becomes infinite. So that's not exist in the universe, right? So I revised that one, get rid of singularity.
Well, I feel like that's not important.
The most important concept is the mass here. The mass in this, as in the gravity, is not actual constant. It varies. It actually derived from electromagnetic interaction.
That's listen to you guys. One. I realize I'm not a physicist. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. And the level of intellect needed for this, it's very impressive. Just listen to both of you guys. I love listening to this as well because the market's going to react to it and they're going to try to tear apart some of the argument. And that's great. That's what you want. Mm-hmm. Where do people find all the other things for them to run through? Are all of these public or no?
Go to Terry's Linchpins.
Okay, so all of that is
all of that is in Terry's Linchpins. The moment you pull it up, we've got an actual section, and it has about 10 of these papers in it, and we're going to add, there's about 60 papers altogether that we've done since we can't get publication anywhere else, and I'm asking them to please, depending on your curiosity, you want to talk about anti-gravity machines, then here we go. You want to talk about pulling energy directly from the flux, here we go. You want to talk about tangential flight, here's the papers on that. So everything is in there. Hi, everyone.
All right, family. So basically, he's saying it's wrong because how can you have the same gravitational pull on different areas of the Earth, which goes back into a little bit of my point of how the Earth is actually, a flat surface.
Earther. This guy's a flat earther. Somebody help this guy. Flat earther.
I don't know, Luke. I don't know if you see what was that last week episode, or was it whatever week you had left early. I was messing with you. We had a question. So one of the viewers had for Ask the Pharaohs had said, is space actually underwater? And so I was messing with you. I said, see, this is why Luke need to be on here, because this is what I'm trying to tell him.
Nah, I ain't see that one.
But fellas, what do y'all think about Terrance Howard saying that uh Newton's law of gravity is wrong after all of these years?
I say
Mm.
he's right. He's definitely right. Gotta be right. That's just like time can't be the same time all over the world. Like it's what's the 8 o'clock in Georgia, 6 o'clock in Chicago, probably like 3 o'clock in New York. Like why time can't be the same time everywhere? Right? It can't because it just can't. The same way that Terrence Howard was talking about, what did he say, with the gravitational pull? So you
Yeah.
mean my gravitation and your gravitation and Kyrie's gravitation all got the same type of gravitational pull? Granted, I might be a little heavier than Kyrie, and you might be heavier than both of us, or you taller, and I might be the same height. We can't have the same gravitational pull. They just tried to make a blanket statement. That's what the Newton's law
Mm,
was, a blanket statement.
Yeah, I definitely understand. I understand where you're coming from, Israel. For me, well, the reason the topic was kind of interesting to me in the first place, because I mean, I know we have a lot of people learning about our way of life as far as Coptic people, and it kind of ties into it because really what Terrence Howard is starting to tap into, and the reason it's so controversial is because remember when Newton's law was created, it was before the discoverance of what they call dark matter, um,
yeah.
or black matter. So once that came into the equation, it really did kind of change a lot in the quantum world. But the way that kind of ties into our way of life and Coptic people would be we weren't the masters of that school of thought. The Coptics were, again, but we talked about this on one of our podcasts. The purpose of the birth and obsession of our faith, as far as one of the oldest, what they would call religions, was in order to be able to keep the advancement of state, to keep the morality for the people. This is when the realms of the high priest and the high priestess was really introduced into society. But the Coptics were in charge of keeping morality with science. They were in charge of keeping there being a bond to where state didn't just overcome. What they would say, money didn't become everything, because a lot of these science required a certain level of spiritual understanding. So the people who were really engaged in it, and I think Terrence Howard has kind of started tapping into a lot of it, because in that same podcast he was talking about the way gravity works and why we have a hard time understanding it, and it kind of shows with the way we do things. There's always these wondering of how the pyramids and all of these large monuments was built. And Terrence, how what he's basically saying is the reason we don't understand it and we can't duplicate it is because we're working off an incomplete equation, which will be gravity, will be Newton's law of gravity. Now that there's been a new element, meaning there is some type of force that's not being able to be seen or felt, but we can actually measure and calculate that is there. He's kind of starting to tie in the fact that this is the science that these ancient cultures had, mastered, and they begin to be able to build a lot of these monuments. So the way that ties in with Coptic is because we got a lot of people that are priests and stuff, but really a priest and priestess weren't really, like, it wasn't as big as a spiritual thing in that realm. The priest and the high priestess, their requirement in their job was to keep the knowledge and the mathematics, depending on what school you came from. A lot of people in that time in ancient Kemet were coming out of the school of Tahuti. And the school of Tahuti dealt with a lot of the sciences, the math, the biology, and we seen that kind of transferred into our day and time now because it was passed down and it got watered down. So nowadays you would have the Masons. The more degrees you go up with the Masons, the more you begin to start learning these remedies. Like as you learn in each degree as a Mason, you begin to learn some of the alchemy, and you begin to learn how to make certain herbs. A lot of the high Masons know how to abstract DNT and how to use mushrooms. These were things that they were getting from the people of Sabaean. The Sabaeans is what they were called. These was one of the masters of that. But they dwelt within the Kemetic kingdom. Remind you, this was a big kingdom we talking about. So you got your scientists over here, you got your spiritual people over here, you got your governmental people over here, which was usually would be in the capital or would be in Cairo. They were the ones running policy and making things happen, but they kind of had a relationship. So the Coptic people played a sense into it because once they would raise you up enough to become a high priest or a priestess, was when you would begin to learn these attributes of gravity, these attributes of sound and meditation and vibration, which is what they were using a lot. But they didn't give that to everybody. You had to be able to get to a certain level. And I think Terrance Howard is just starting to really, he's trying to figure it out like how Newton was trying to figure it out. All of these are ancient African systems and sciences. We didn't have to use a lot of cranes and stuff like that. We had mastered a lot of the science that they're trying to master now that they really don't understand. We don't even understand it now because a lot of the knowledge was lost or watered down. And the people who really only have a little bit of it, I mean, I would say the Masons have maybe 5% of the real information from the original Coptics. The Masons, because you got to remember, it was given to it wasn't given, it was taken from the Aramaic people when they conquered Kemet. Then the Aramaic people had to deal with who? You had to start dealing with when the Vatican and all these people come in. This is how the Knights of Templar came across so much information. And the Knights of Templar began to create what they called the Freemasons or the Masonry people, who were the masters of what? Stone building. The reason the Masons were masters of stone building is because they were using, or they got a little bit of the information on the mastery of building these big monuments, which deals with gravity. You cannot rebuild the pyramids if you don't really truly unlock whatever they understood about gravity, because there was no pulleys or no cranes that were lifting these blocks. But the theory is that they had mastered the art of vibration and the art of sound moving and all of these different sciences. I think Terrance Howard is just really trying to kind of get the public to start looking in that area, especially seeing as how the quantum theory has really broken science over the past 10 years. Everything is different now. We know that there's something more out there. Spiritual people call it the spirit. Religious people call it, the Holy Ghost. But in the science world, they call it dark matter. So that's just my
That's
take on it. I think
crazy.
he's starting to open up that door again.
Yeah, I like that. I believe just to piggyback a little bit off what you were saying, Luke. Him trying to show. Well, first of all, I was very surprised. He had an interview months ago, last year, when he did the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about the linchpin and like how you said, like quantum physics is so cool. Like, they making it cool. I know some people probably listen to this like, y'all just got really smart. Really quick. Y'all just got really smart really quick. I don't know how to follow this conversation. But no, so he was talking about the that's why he said the website of Lynchpin, and you can go on there. You can look at all types of stuff. They don't want to publish none of his stuff no more, but he has so many patents. He has so many patents, so he owns a lot of these things, which I didn't know that Terrance Howard was a person who was into science like this. He's actually a real nerd, real geek. The way he's explaining a lot of these things when it comes to dark matter and particles and all of that. So, like you said, Luke, I think he's just trying to now enlighten us on certain things that we didn't talk about, or now that's kind of new per se. Not they say nothing's new on the sun, but new to a relevant for our society today. Hey Ruby, what you laughing at? You gonna come join us, right? You gonna join us in a minute. Oh, I can't get it out. Okay.
Yeah, I think he definitely opening up that paradigm. And I always like to bring it back to what we supposed to be doing, because it just be like sometimes I love my way of life so much I don't really play with it. And the science side of it, we had such an important charge. That's what I was saying with like the priestess and the high priest. Like I don't play with stuff like that because their charge wasn't as what people think of it now so much like a spiritual thing. It was these were supposed to in the in the Egyptian church, in the Kemetic church, they were charged with housing that information, whether that be mentally, whether that be on writings or papyruses. Their job was to keep the ancient secrets, so that in case of invasion, which we did see happen, we saw Kemet was invaded. So there has to be someone that is in charge of keeping it. What did that mean? They were the pioneers of it? Absolutely not. That's why I said there were certain groups and people that were the scientists, but the high level scientists would have been known as priests and priestess. They were the ones that did all of the alchemy and dealing with the embalming. They would usually shave their heads because they didn't, you want to be as clean as possible. Their charge was really to understand biology and science to a level that wasn't to the average citizen of Kemet. The average citizen may just be trying to own a bread shop or whatever, but when you became a priest or a high priestess, you were charged in order to understand the science of, like they say, Tahuti, or what some people would know as thought. You were charged. You had to go through that whole school, and in order to graduate from the school, you had to be able to perform what you actually learned. But the Coptic Church was really in charge of making sure that, hey, if anything was to happen, our spiritual leaders, which are the priest and the high priestess, they are the ones they're going to house the information. Government falls, right? The pharaoh could die, the soldiers could die, but the ones who are supposed to keep it and keep going were really the priests and stuff like that. That's why I say I always kind of tie it into us. To me, in our way of life, even though we in here in America, we still are supposed to, if we forgotten anything, try to figure it out and find out how to apply it to our natural life so that it can enhance our spiritual life. My grandmother said it. You got to have that natural and that spirit. You got to balance. But the science of it, I don't think should be neglected because it was our charge to be the intelligent people. So in these days and times now, I'm like, shoot, I want my spiritual life to be strong, but I'm not trying to get left in the race of what I should have, what I already am a kind of a part of. And we are the we birthed science and mathematics. So as black people, I really don't be understanding like come on now, we supposed to be the ones really pioneering it. But it got to be an interest. And I really want to bring the interest back, like in a hard level, so then we can start making our own stuff. You can't get no car company with a Coptic name on it and Prophet Peter on the side if you don't know how to build cars. You can't get no airline company that say after the order of Melchizedek airline company if you don't understand how planes are built. So I don't want to, I never want to neglect that side. Got to keep that natural and that spiritual side balance. So I don't know, maybe I be thinking big. I do see that in my
Mm-hmm.
dreams. I do see it in my dreams sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. The Coptic.
Ain't nothing wrong with
You
that.
know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Why, if everybody else can have it,
Right. Why can't
you know
we?
what I mean? Why
Look,
can't we?
trying to
Yeah,
figure
I
that
think
part out.
yeah, I think the same thing.
Yeah. And then I want to
I
make
really
it
think
cool
the
again
same
too.
thing.
I like how Terrance Howard is making it cool.
Yeah,
Because It's the young boys, young guys that you might spark an interest that they didn't even know they were interested in. He's an actor, so he already kind of got uh that pull. So it's really cool how he was able to transition. He said it in one of his interviews. He was like, "Man, I'm tired of playing people who I'm not. I want the world to really see what I've come across and discovered." So shout out to him. He representing for the culture.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He doing his thing.
Okay, family. So y'all threw me off now. Shit, I was trying to segue to this to
Yeah,
the
y'all know
baby
who
mom.
else is shit making it cool? What was he talking about? Terrance Howard making it cool for what that type of information?
Well, yeah, but you know what's not cool?
What's not cool?
What's not
What you got?
cool, fellas, is the baby mama drama that the NBA player Minnesota Timberwolves shooting guard Anthony Edwards, what he got going on. And so let's talk about it real quick. This is y'all know the rapper Lil Baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is baby mama, and so now it's Anthony Edwards' baby mama. Her name is I think it's Aisha Howard or something like that.
Okay.
So you say you can't see her?
Mm-mm. Oh, there we go. They share the same baby mama. This how
Yep.
man. When the guys start getting lucky, like these women, it seem like they be getting lucky. Get a dude after another dude, millionaire after millionaire. Man, where the sugar? Where the cougars at? Let me score cougar after cougar. I need a bike and then another one. A
Oh
house.
my god.
Like, come on, somebody. Like, where they at? Where the rich women at? Let's score one after another one. Tell them I'm grieving over my sorrows and I gotta get paid because they
Oh,
keep
Well,
leaving.
they right now they going after all of the NBA players and NFL players right now. All these older women, they trying to get that
Oh,
bag.
older
She
one.
38 years old. Anthony Edwards, I think is 24, 23.
Oh,
mhm.
she's a cougar. She's predatory. That is predators. Predatory.
That ain't no predator. You
Predatory. That's a
crying.
whole 12 years. This nigga still got milk behind his ears. He barely making it in life. Like he ain't even experienced life yet, and she up here dropping babies off. She know what was going on. He ain't
I'm
even know
crying.
that, man. They need to start schooling these dudes coming into the league. Be like, yo, just like who mama is that? I forget who mama ain't playing about them. Some player. It was
Oh,
you
KD.
know
Was it KD?
yeah, I think so. Cause he was up
Wait,
there
what?
talking to some girl at the game, and then they ha ha he, and then the mama over there. Then the next scene, the mama in the middle
That
of
is
both of them.
no, that is
You know what I'm talking about?
Jalen. I'm sorry, no, Jace.
Yes, Jason, whoever, the young dude. Yes,
Oh my
that's the
god,
type of mama parents we need. Be like, yo, son, I know you liking Shorty, but you need to stay focused at least for
Oh,
5 years or something. Like, go
well
another
then,
post
well then,
year.
Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels.
Yes, his mama ain't playing about him.
so wasn't the story that is this the one where he paid the
So yeah,
full?
so basically, so he don't want nothing to do with the girl. He say he don't want the baby. So he asks to pay 18 years the whole child
Eight,
support up front.
18 years of fun. It's
He
crazy.
want he wants to pay it up front, which they totaled it out to be 1.8 million.
Yeah, that was yeah. He took it the way a lot of the billionaires do it. It ain't even really that foreign. It's rare somebody that's like in the limelight do it. That's how a lot of them do it. Um, to me, it's a lot easier that way too because your network fluctuates. But he said he ain't want nothing to do with the baby. He didn't want the baby in the first place.
That's
She
messed
had
up.
the baby. So can't nobody say he ain't handle his responsibilities
Still a
because he
deadbeat.
already.
No, they
No,
saying
he
they
not.
still
No, he
saying
not.
that he.
How you a deadbeat? Hold on. How you a deadbeat? Your job is to provide, right? Okay,
Shorty didn't spend that money.
so
That
hold
money
on.
ain't gonna
Yeah,
last a
she went and
whole
bought. She went
18
and bought.
years.
She went and bought a trucking company because the money don't never really go to the children. Let's be real. It's not like that. It's meant for the mom to be able to take care of the children. So if they came up with this is what kings do all the time, especially billionaires. They don't sit there and play them games. Oh, okay, cool. How much it's gonna cost? It's like writing a check. Like it's like writing a bill for a tape. It's an expensive bill. But in reality, do you want to have to constantly deal with that for the rest of the 18 years? Or if you have the money, 1.8, it did hit his pockets. But to me, it was a very wise decision. And
That
then
was
I
good
think they
upfront
I
decision.
think he had her sign the leave me alone clause. Meaning
That's
don't
what's up.
call me, don't
That's
bother
what's
me.
up.
You got your money. That child, that is no reason. There is no reason that that child should not have what they need. $1.8 million is what the average human being makes throughout their entire lifetime.
That's crazy.
So if there's ever a day that child does not have, it's the mama fault. Because 1.8 is what the average human being makes. The average human lives to about 72 years old. So there's no reason that out of 18 years, that child don't got what they need. I think I take my hat off to him. Salute to you, my brother, handling your business. Because that child is better set up than some people that got fathers. And everybody gonna be like, well, he's not in the child's life.
Yeah,
There
I was
are
gonna
some
say that.
fathers that are in their child's life and ain't nothing. I'd rather have the money. Because at the end of the day, that's all we as dads do. We work. Yeah, good job, son.
Damn.
Yeah, we build morale. But
You
in
know,
reality, all we
Yeah,
do
I'm
is
a, I'm
work.
a, I'm gonna have to go ahead and disagree with you on this one, Luke, because
Go
it's
ahead.
not.
buddy, he got the money. Listen, one, this is what I need young black men, all the black men that's listening to this podcast. Come sit down and I'm about to tell you something. If you don't really like the girl,
Don't do the
why are
girl.
you even having sexual intimacy, fornication, whatever word you want to use? Why are you sleeping with this woman? One. Second, because it's not it's not the child. It's not the child. It's he don't want to be around that girl anymore. And maybe it's because she little baby mama as well. Maybe he know that she's a little fast. She's a harlot, okay? To him, probably. I don't know how he views her, but I'm gonna tell you right now, for a man to sit here and say, I'm about to pay you this much money up front so I don't have to deal with you for
That's
18
crazy.
years, mean that he really don't like you. So, men, if you really don't like this girl, why are you putting yourself inside of this girl?
She got that
When are
fire.
you going to take now the responsibility as a man? My fault. So I guess he's paying to make up for his mistake,
What was
but
the
that's not
mistake?
enough. That's not enough.
What was the
Because now you
mistake?
have an innocent human being that you don't want to, you saying that you don't want to talk to the baby mama mean that you don't want to be with the child in the child's life either.
$1.8 million is in the child life. I'd rather have the money than a broke father.
Man,
You know how many black men out here would rather have had their daddy pay for the cleats instead of talking about I'm gonna get you in football, son. Then at the end of the day, the mama gotta cut the check.
damn.
Money talks, BS walks when you a man, bro. I'm telling you, as somebody with a father. That's why if that concept of the dad is supposed to be there. Remember, we had this conversation and they got mad at me when I said this, but it's the truth. Fathers are not really that effective in the child's life until they get older anyway, because we are for the money. That's why they say provide. They'll say provide before protect a lot of times because you can't. What are you gonna protect? I don't want to be a homeless dad with my children right there talking about I still love y'all. We all out here suffering, but I'm in your life though. You know how many young men and young women have grown up with their daddy sitting there watching him eat chips and drink beer all day, probably smacking his wife around, have no level of understanding the real job of, but he there though. Oh no, he there. You see him every day. You go get his cigarettes from the stove. They say
Right.
I'd rather him not have been there. So in my mind, if he knew he didn't want to deal with this woman, why sit there and even play? Now I would have felt he was bogus if he didn't take a responsibility. And the only responsibility in America that is seen that really matters is the money. They don't take you to child support because you didn't make it to the football game. They don't take you to child support and say, oh, you have to make sure that you're there for moral support. BS. It doesn't exist in the real world. The real world requires you to make sure that that child can eat, has the best opportunities, is able to have good clothing, is able to have good schooling, and $1.8 million is more than enough. More than that's enough for the mama and the child to eat. She already eating off a little baby anyway. So it
Right.
ain't like we just talk about some woman that just found herself in this situation. No, her response, she got to take accountability too. You was out here
No,
shopping.
I get that, but I'm on the whole. Remember we talked. I don't know if we talk about Zion Williams. His baby mama is a be on OnlyFans and all that stuff. Listen. I understand you got the money, and you know when you got the money, you go get the beautiful women. Okay, you go get the beautiful women. Some of those beautiful women aren't the women that you want raising your children. And you as a man, you need to take responsibility. I don't care how much money you make, you still have to be responsible.
Absolutely.
You still have to be responsible. So you this show you don't the way you have other baby mamas. This is the thing. He has other baby mamas, y'all.
Oh dang, you ain't say all of
He
that either.
he don't like this one.
This dude need to
This
wear
one is,
some. He need to wear some
This
specifically
condoms or
specific.
something.
this one is
This point.
specifically like on his I don't want you in my life
So
energy.
I wonder if that's the thing. You just
So
when you get the money, you just stop using condoms. I don't know.
I mean when you can afford it, hey, I already said what type of time and I'm on this year. All
Y'all see how
clubs.
many children?
Da-da-da-da.
Y'all see how many children Elon Musk got?
How many
But in
kids
my
Well,
he
mind,
got?
Elon Musk made
He
over
got one, don't he?
400 billion last month.
How many
right?
So
But
kids he got?
children don't cost billions of dollars.
How many
Children are not that expensive.
how many kids he got?
I think
9,
He said 9.
probably.
yeah, like 9 or 11. One of them.
They actually
Y'all
his or no?
yeah, they is. Y'all surprised, man. Y'all know what our granddaddies was doing. You know how many children people we don't have kids no more.
He has 7 so far.
Seven so
Okay, so
far.
let's think about this. Elon Musk
So
is a
far is
billionaire with
crazy.
7 kids, right? My great grandfather had 10 kids and wasn't a billionaire.
Mm.
This was what 3 generations ago.
I'm
So what's
behind, man. I'm three
where's the real
generations behind.
problem at? If we was to go to all of our
I'm
great
sorry,
grandfathers,
correction. Let me correct myself. It's 14.
He
oh,
got 14.
get him,
Wow.
Elon. He say I'm finna populate
What
Mars.
they
He
what
trying to.
they AI artificial insemination and simulation?
Nah, he trying to get his population for Mars going. He trying to get his
Yeah, that's
prodigy.
That's
that's
wild.
exactly what he doing.
But I mean, y'all gotta remember, fellas, this is the level that these guys think on. Solomon said it. Now, for guys that if you ain't got that, yeah, be realistic with what you can do. You can't cut a check like that. So, like Solomon said, you shouldn't be out here recklessly doing that because you're gonna throw yourself in a situation to where you didn't bit off more than you can chew. But in this instance, I mean, I don't know his actual network with the NBA and all of that. I'm pretty sure he's well off. Pretty sure that check probably gonna hit him just probably for a year. He might feel it, but in reality, money comes, money goes. She happy. She went and bought her a trucking company. That's what she spent the money on. So she invest into herself. Kudos to you. That child should be
Nah,
taken care of. I don't care what nobody says. That child should not want for nothing. You didn't made what more people who are grown probably is gonna make. That's the average, $2 million per person, at least in America. That's what the average person makes their entire lifetime.
I like this. We both have two different, you know, perspectives of this whole situation. I'm saying he shouldn't have messed with her in the first place, and he needs to take responsibility and accountability of what type of woman, because it's the energy of let me pay this up front so I don't have to talk to you means that you don't even like her. So what is you putting yourself inside of her for?
So what you think? Most people who had children really like their baby mama?
They should.
You don't. You don't. You
But
don't.
Absolutely
no, I
should.
mean, of course,
Hold
we
on.
know it's not
Hold
true,
on.
but they
Hold on. Let me
should.
ask you this: do you think most people who are married really like each other?
They should.
Yeah,
Why would you
oh, yeah,
marry
oh,
somebody you
look, look,
don't
look.
like?
Works. That and if
The,
you do that, you're gonna be divorced quick because that ain't how marriage
Why
works.
would you
the
marry
older
Liking
ones.
somebody?
somebody, because liking
Why
somebody is
would
a
you
roller
marry
coaster.
somebody you don't
A
like?
family, a
The
family,
older
a
ones.
marriage is a business. It is
The
not about
older
if you
Oh,
ones,
like the
definitely.
person. You might like them at one point and you might not like them the next point. That shouldn't determine if you're gonna deal with them because liking somebody can vary a lot when you married to them and in a relationship. We always changing as people. This is why you don't play with it because it really is it's a contract. Meaning whether I like you anymore, he might really like her now. But then what if you what 10 years down the line you don't like her no more, now you get divorced? That's not why. Then just don't marry, don't get in no serious relationship. Cause liking people to me is like an up and down thing. You might like them one moment, but you shouldn't end your relationship just because you stop liking them or you don't like what they do at this point. I think they had an agreement and she didn't go with the agreement. He probably told her, I don't want children. She said, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway, because it's my body, my choice. It is your body and it is your choice. And this is my check that I'm about to write you. So she was able to do what she wanted to do, and his resources let him do what he needed to do to get out of that jam. Because let's think about it. If
okay.
if if
Hold
she,
on, hold
if
on,
she
hold on, Luke. Hold on, Luke. Hold on, Luke. We have a special guest that came
all right,
in
go ahead.
that want to talk to us just for a
Oh,
second.
snap. A special
All right, and
guest.
I want her
Ooh.
to kind of chime in on this
You
conversation
gotta
that
see
we're
the
having
face.
right
You gotta
now.
see the face.
She it's okay. We got a voice. Is the Empress Ruby,
Hey
the royal
y'all.
golden Empress Ruby, is she available?
What's good?
How y'all doing? I'm doing good.
Doing real good.
Still trying to
Ruby,
recover from
how you
yesterday.
feeling?
I feel pretty good. It's Monday, so Mondays be something for the Coptic people. But I feel good. I ain't gonna even lie. I feel good. I feel good.
Well,
Blessed
I know
and
you had, huh?
I said blessed and highly favored.
Yeah,
That's
Lord.
great.
Amen.
Um, I was gonna say, I know that you wanted to ask me a question about what I posted earlier, but we could get to that in a second. Right now, we
Oh,
Hmm.
having this conversation. Right now, we having this conversation about the basketball player Anthony Edwards paying his baby mama um upfront child support for 18 years of $1.8 million. Did you
mhm.
see this story on the internet?
No, I did not. So
So
just
what do you think about this whole situation? I know you've been listening to me and Kyrie go back. Well, me and Lou go back and forth about it. What you think about this?
um okay, so remind me a little bit of the backstory. Like, so he just
So
didn't want children.
he don't want her. He don't want the baby mama in his life.
Eh, okay.
He
So so he's like he just want to pay the child support right now for all 18 years, so he ain't got to deal with her.
How many children do they have?
One together, one.
Okay, he's safe. He's safe.
No, he got
'Cause with-
multiple baby mamas, but in this
oh,
situation, he only got
well,
one.
yeah, I mean he's still safe because when you have multiple children, that's a whole nother, like, that's two different personalities. Like, that's a whole nother story. But I mean, he not wrong. Like, I feel like if he told her what he wanted up front it's basically like her fault because it's what you allow. And you, if you knew up front, you basically gave consent for what he was doing. You get what I'm saying? Like you're basically saying, okay, I'm okay with you not wanting children, but then later down the line. And if you had a change of heart, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. So I don't fault him for wanting to pay the child support up front because he might have just felt like she was a good time, not somebody to have children with. But that's what comes with sexual intercourse.
Sexual relations.
So you
That's
think
one.
so? So let's just hypothetically, just this is
Okay.
just hypothetical. So let's say if your child's father
Okay.
decided, you know what, we good, let's cut ties. Here go $500,000 for each son for him to be left alone. You taking that deal?
Um. Okay, I'm gonna hang the Libra in me up. I'm gonna hang her up. I mean, long as you're doing what you're supposed to do outside of the money for the children, then I wouldn't care. Like, especially
Okay.
if the feeling is mutual. Like, there's like I don't see any further interest in you, and this is what you want. Okay, fine. Give us the money. And long as you do what you're supposed to do, and some people forget that money don't solve everything being a parent. You get what I'm saying? Like you still have to be there physically. You don't gotta meet
Yeah,
my needs.
Luke.
Meet their needs. They are the ones being hindered in any decision that you make. Now, it's a little messed up because you wouldn't want to see your child having to grow up in like a two-parent home because I know how that feels. But it's also like what they be saying, if the mama ain't happy, then what good is she to the children? The same way with the daddy. If he's not happy, what good is he to the children? Because me and
What
Kim
good
get
is he to the family?
exactly. Like, so it's like you might as well just take him up on the offer. It's not like he's not providing anything. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's giving you the money. Now it's about what you do with it, making sure they have clothes, they properly taken care of. But him as a father, he has to make sure that he's also stepping in, being there, making sure schoolwork is done, being that report card pickup. Like, you
So I agree with you, Ruby, and the point I'm trying to make to Solomon is if we were talk if we were talking about, because you got to remember we're talking about a specific male. He's a male with a certain type of career
right?
and a certain
Yeah,
type of network. So all of these things you naming, he wasn't gonna be able to do in the first place. The men that can write these type of checks don't have the same type of time as the $60,000 or $80,000 a year father. This is why he can do that. Most of the fathers, they would write that check if they had the money. We think they there at the football game and they just pay him monthly because they want to. They can't do what he did.
okay.
He worked to a level to where he can make that offer to her. So what I'm trying to express is it sounds crazy, but everyone is agreeing that the money for the child is really the most important thing. Even the like you said, doing his responsibility. But before you show up and you tell your son it's okay, you fight back. Your son gotta have, or your daughter has to have clothes to go to school. They have to have things for them to even be in a situation for you to morally be an encouragement to them. You know how they always say, well, oh, my daddy wasn't at my football game. Some fathers are not at the games because they paid for the cleats and they paid for the yearly dues, and they gotta go to work.
Yeah, at
That
work. Pops at the
So does
work.
that so does that make him now a less father than the father that made every single game? The father that made every single game, he might just work at Amazon. So he might be able to be there and look at the report card and come to the PTA meetings. Neither one of them to me is a better father. But at the end of the day, we know what makes a bad father. If you ain't cutting that bread, you can sit there in your child face all you want, but don't no child woman or court system want a man that has created something and is not taking that money out and putting that money on the table. Because that child got to eat, got to have clothes, and none of this stuff comes from love. Dads, we don't get that opportunity to just focus on that love. Because you can be a loving father, but be a sucky father. Your child sitting there, holes going through their shoes, but you love them though. Oh, I love you. I just don't know why I can't take care of you. I don't know why your book bag look like, cause you ain't getting up and making no money. You supposed to work till you, in my opinion, you supposed to work till you die. When it comes to being a father, that may not be the same type of work, but I feel he in a different position, because he said, Ruby, he said, I don't. she knew I didn't want a child in the beginning, and she chose to do it. So she
Yep.
already broke their agreement. And he still
Right.
was able to say, okay, even though she gonna break the agreement we had before we had sexual relations, I'ma still do my job, because hey, he gotta take accountability. He didn't wear protection. So now you got a child coming. He could have just said, oh no, I'm gonna fight you in court because I don't want this, that. I would have looked at him a little crazy. But for him being like, man, nah, I messed up. I took this L. That child gotta eat. That mama gotta eat. She gotta raise the child. She gonna need food on her table too. How she gonna take care of the child and she hungry? Let me cut a check that's gonna make sure for the next 18 years she won't need for nothing, because it's still her decision, her body, her choice. But I gotta rock with the choice that she made. So he gotta come out. I just think he gotta come out that pocket. Don't play with her, cause that baby gotta eat. But I mean,
I
I just don't.
agree, but I think he doing the cheap way though, because he know he finna get a max contract, and he trying to pay right
Get
now
it out the way.
before
Yes.
Get
he
it
got
ready
to,
now.
because
Yes.
Yes.
I, but
Cause that it ain't gonna do nothing but go up.
he's technically not wrong. Like I don't, like I said, I do feel like as a father he should be there present, but I also understand what Luke was saying. Like his career path may not allow him to be as present as he wants to be. That don't make him less of a father. That makes him more of a provider. But then in this situation, I mean, what really are you providing for me now that you've put everything up front? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you probably making your money back from what you didn't already spent.
he
Pretty
definitely will. His next NBA contract, he definitely will make
He gonna
more
make that back.
money than what he's
so it's
spending.
like,
He's trying
but
to spend.
one thing I do disagree, and this is coming from a mother. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say that this is coming from a mother's standpoint. Your children's father does not have to take care of you. Their part of taking care of you is taking care of them children. You are responsible as the woman to take care of yourself. Now, some people gonna disagree with me, but that's fine. But it's like at the same time, yeah, okay, I'm giving you money, making sure my child is straight. But now, what are you doing to help keep the train flowing? You get what I'm saying? Like, so what you gonna do? Sit on the couch all day because I didn't give you this money? Like, no, you have to do something as well. Even if that is making sure he got breakfast every morning, making sure his clothes is ironed. Because I'm that type of mom. I make sure the clothes is ironed. Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, regardless as to what the father is doing. So I do not feel like it'd be fair to me in that. I get it. Sometimes having to help out with the mother if they may not have it or they fall short, that's understandable. But if y'all are not in a relationship, I don't feel like he should be responsible for taking care of her, especially if he let it be known through the door that was not what he wanted.
I understand that. I definitely understand that. I
Yeah,
mean, I I I,
yeah.
I agree with
This
you
is a
on.
great conversation.
Yeah, and I mean, I see I see where she coming from. I think if you in a relationship with her, you should. But if you part ways with her, I don't know. It's kind of like a gray area for me. I think about it a lot of times. Even in my situation, I'm blessed to have my daughter's mother is a hardworking woman. She's always been like that since before I met her. She had her own career. She's put herself through school. She's always able to take care of herself. But sometimes, like I need help, she needs help. But because I had children with her, I do feel like it's my responsibility. but it's because of the way she's presenting herself. Like if she presented herself as somebody that wasn't willing to work and wasn't willing to take care of herself, I would probably have an issue. But when you had children with somebody, you know, we all know how life is. Unexpected things come up. And sometimes for mothers, in my opinion, they have to make different sacrifices because especially with like younger children, you can't be in two places at one time. So it
Amen.
Right.
don't mean that they not trying to work, but they might have to get the children dinner going, you know, or they may have to get homework done. When you doing stuff like that, you may have the mindset to say, I'll take care of myself. I don't need, but you just really can't. You can't be at two places at
Takes
one time.
advantage.
This
It
is why I
takes
say the money
advantage.
talks. This is why I say the money talks. Because the nourishing or the teaching comes from the mother. But how can the mother really teach to her full potential if in the back of her mind there is no support if something goes wrong? There's no support if she get laid off of her job. Now the baby daddy ain't got no money. He can't help her. I mean, you just better off having children by yourself if that's the case. Because things happen in life. But when you have children with somebody, both of y'all are understanding that you're gonna sacrifice some things. Not because you lazy, but because sometimes you have to say, I can't be there. I can't do that double shift. I can't do that overnight shift because I got children. And if the spouse don't understand that, or if the person who made that child with you don't understand that, then that's when it gets a little rough. Because in my mind, they should be able to help you. Be like, hey, I understand you doing this for the child. Let me throw you a little something, something. I can go and work. I can go do a double. Especially fathers. On average, more fathers have more times than the mother do, as far as working is concerned. We ain't everybody ain't. I'm a hands-on dad. I do the homework and all that, but everybody not like me. And I
True.
don't really blame most men for not doing what I do because it financially is a burden. It's hard to do the financial side and to do that side. But if
Okay,
the mama
I
doing
got a
it,
question.
send the money over. What's up?
So, what about the dads who could be there but decide not to? Like,
It's the mama fault.
And that is what Anthony Edwards is doing. That's what I'm trying to get Luke to
It's the mama
understand.
fault.
He can be there. He choosing to not be there.
What
So
do
if
you
you
mean
choosing
by
to
be
not
there?
be there, hold on, wait. If
when
he
I
choosing
say
not
be
to be
there,
there,
like
he
prime
shouldn't even be.
example,
He
I'm
shouldn't have never slept with her.
that part. I'm gonna use me for an example. Growing up, my dad has always been present. Of course, y'all know that, but the people don't. So I'm just sharing that with them. But my dad has always been present. Like I have the type of father where when I would get out of school, he get off of work, even though him and my mother were no longer together, he was still coming back, making sure I had my homework done, making sure my uniform was prepared for the next day, making sure I didn't did my chores. You get what I'm saying? So in that aspect, I do fault him because it's like you felt like the money could just cover everything, and it really can't. It'll make up, but it's in a sense, it's like I don't know. It
It's like
just
the
it
money will never suffice for the absence of the presence. You know,
exactly. Which
because it
will
was
now that child in a I don't even want to speak that over the baby, but God forbid leave them in a messed up situation because it's like, well, now I don't have my dad, but then your dad was the irresponsible one because he knew what comes with having sexual intercourse unprotected. Like
but
he know what comes with that. And it's like, as men, they say, well, oh, it's the woman's choice. It is. It's the woman's body. But also keep in mind, sometimes you do more damage to your body getting rid of a baby than you do just actually having a baby. And that comes from a woman having two children, all natural, no medication. Thank you. So,
yeah,
I
and
mean,
then it'd be the just the presence of a male figure changes the whole atmosphere and aesthetic of the household, or
mm,
just even like my father was saying on Saturday when we was in church. You know, you got the little ones there, and then you got the older, like you got the generation on tomorrow, then you got the prince there, and then that's a big age gap because some of them got children, some don't. But then you can see the little ones, you see the men over there, they want to do what they doing. It's like, hey, I want to be over here because I'm still young and they, maybe they don't have a daddy, but they see this male figure over here, and instead of being around the other little girls, they want to hang out with the boys, because it's like it's just being in that situation where you learn, you really learn by like learning by just being in the presence,
And then
inferred learning.
and then too, you just made a very valid point. Something else I was gonna make a point of. You see how you just said you have these men over here. Now that child now has to look to uncles, maybe other family members as a father figure because my dad used money as a scapegoat not to be here the way that he should. Although him and my mother made an agreement like, nah, I don't want no children. But you did what makes children.
Right.
The money, let's wipe the money off the table. Well, no, we can't really wipe the money off the table because I mean, look at who y'all are talking about. Somebody with money. But I'm just saying, like, even if he didn't have money and he decided to say, well, I don't want to be in the child's life, the child still has to look for that
Something.
fatherly love from someone else. That's crazy you said that because the queen was up talking in church yesterday and she was saying, I don't want to quote her wrong, but she
I'll
was
be in
like in so
tune.
many words saying like,
Just
Luke,
paraphrase.
you remember it was like something like she can't teach a man
How to
how to
be a man.
be a man. Like she can guide him as much as she possibly can, but it's certain things that men know that women just we ain't never experienced because we're not men.
Right.
Same
And
way
it's
y'all never know how labor pain feel.
right.
Hold
But
on,
it's
they got
certain
the
stuff.
simulation.
but
I agree.
it's certain stuff that
So if love is more important, then take away the whole child support system. This is why I just don't agree with that's what we have society has agreed to be the most important
No, I
things we
agree
as
with
fathers do. Why was there child support created if love was what was really missing?
right.
We've
that
been
because it wasn't
offering
love when they made the child.
right, but hear me out. Does a father love raise a child?
Yes,
How?
yes. Your
Ooh,
children,
that's a good question.
your children know what true love is because the first people they should receive it from is their parent.
Right, okay. And how
Facts.
does how does a mother love reciprocate the same way a father's love does? This is why I say I believe we got two parents. One has to sacrifice different than the other. Usually the mothers were the nurturers, that they nurtured, meaning I'm getting you prepared to walk into your father's hand. This is what your teacher does, right? And our way of life, your teacher prepares you before she lifts you up and she hands you up to the leader. Why? Because you can't handle the leader as soon as you walk in, as soon as you come into the world, which will be a student. You can't handle the leader. The leader don't care about you crying. The leader don't care about all of that. The leader can't, because you can't think like a teacher and think like a leader at the same time. So,
Right.
and this is how I look at the relationships of a mother and a father. The
Mhm.
father can't sit there and deal with all of that and still provide in the most effective way. He has to know when to sacrifice. And
But
sometimes you're
as a
not
father,
you're,
the
as a
father got
father,
to know when to
when,
step up
step right, step up. But
because
if you're
eventually
if you're
that
stepping up,
mother might get tired.
right, I agree with that. I
So now she
understand that.
can't even say, well, I can reach out to your dad, so that I can X, Y, and Z. Like, no,
No, she not. But
unfortunately,
see,
it's just gonna
1.8,
be her and the
1.8.
baby.
No, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm finna show you how this different though. Because 1.8 divided by 18 is enough for you to afford a nanny. This is we're talking about a unique situation. $1.8 million divided up in 18 years. Remember, y'all, most people don't make that much their whole life. We talking about a big check. If these were things that were really gonna be an issue, the nourishment, that's enough money for a nanny. That's enough money for private help. That's enough money for private schooling for the child to get the best education, probably better educations than we've got. 1.8 divided in 18 years is enough money for that child to have a leg in this society that's greater than a lot of people that they seen they daddy every single day, but they still in poverty. They can't go to the school they want to go to.
Assuming the mother does what she need to do with the money, though.
And I really don't think the child gonna have anything to worry about because, like I said, she seems intelligent. She went and bought a trucking company, so it looks like she said, "Okay, I came up on the bag." That's what I mean. She came up on the bag. She still got a little baby. I don't know what his child support agreement is. He might be paying monthly, so she got income coming in. Hey, I guess she said, "Hey, I played the game and she really won." Most women not gonna get $1.8 million from their baby daddy, even if he was the best baby daddy in the world.
I'm gonna trap the
crying.
cougars.
No, but hold on, wait, hold on, Israel. This is different though, cause he had the money. She was already with little baby, so she probably got a little money coming in. But I take my hat off to her for investing the money because if you invest that money in a trucking company, you might be able to pass that trucking company down to the child that's coming,
Right.
or you kind of creating some kind of cash flow. So I can't even get mad at the whole deal because I mean that's a pretty good move. Even as a mother, she like, hey, I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna invest it into our future. So hey, celebrities
This
live
was
in
a
a
great,
different world.
yeah. This is a great topic. This is a great topic. Ruby, you got anything else you wanna say to me? Cause I can address it right here on the podcast.
I'm sorry, Solomon. Can you repeat that?
I said, you got anything else you want to ask and say to me? Because I can address it right here on the podcast.
Nah, so what was that post about?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What?
I mean, it's self-explanatory. I'm just looking for a church home.
All these
when you
people in churches, ain't
you
nobody
know.
invite you to church. Look, I'm gonna take you down the street, right? And there's gonna be church after a church next to another church across the street from another church. Take your pick.
Nah. I was talking about a Coptic one.
It's some down the
Bye,
streets.
Solomon.
On one end, another end, across town.
What she say?
another
What she
town.
say?
I said bye.
She texted me earlier talking about we don't share. I said, look, the queen said y'all not for sale. I am. Who got the going once, going twice?
Oh, crap.
Nobody. Sold to nobody. You sold to
Solomon on here, you trolling. He trolling. That's what he does.
that part.
Trolling me.
Definitely trolling. Because we know you ain't looking for no new church home. So don't even get these people geeked up. You know what I'm gonna
Y'all
say?
let me know who available, who in the need of a king. Y'all can hit me up on the Pharaohs Podcast.
Nah. We might have to create a new one. Everybody sold up in Chicago. We're gonna have to create one in the A. Another Coptic
Y'all
Vincent
don't y'all
down
don't
here.
talk to me down here, so I ain't saying nothing to y'all.
Man, I
Y'all
know
don't even
you be
talk to me down
working,
here.
man. You be working.
You
You be
down
working,
here.
man.
We got a couple
Look,
empresses down
we got
here.
some singers. We got a drummer. We can have
We
a
got a
prince and a
drummer
prophet.
down here.
And
Y'all
you just
ain't
need a
y'all ain't
first
trying to do
lady.
nothing.
You need a first lady, and then you be a king.
A first lady that's gonna hit the student real first.
There we go. Some student. Boom.
Somebody fresh.
I got a couple women that I know that I'm trying to say they sold.
Oh mercy.
Trying to get them off them poles. No, let me stop. So
You're gonna get the heartless off the poles. We need a new set of fine empresses bringing in the next wave of the Coptic nation. They gotta look like something.
I'm gonna put her in the major queen degree. She ain't gonna be no empress right away. She need to major some things in her life first.
I'm screaming. You ain't wrong.
No, but I just I just was saying that because I knew you was gonna say something to me, and you ain't called me back when you told me you was gonna call me back, so I felt some type of way.
Right. He is trolling to piss everybody off. Y'all know how Solomon do. He been doing this for years.
I'm gonna create a church and we're gonna wear turbans. We gonna have a whole different
Mm,
wardrobe. Look, they let the buckram all out. Ain't nobody got buckram in the city no more. We going to turbans,
um,
turbans and robes, turbans and robes. You heard it
yeah,
here first.
Um, Ruby, let the people know what you got going on. Like you started your own little social media thing journey
Not
that you got
little.
going.
who
Ain't
me?
Well, I'm
nothing
sorry.
past little.
No, I'm sorry, not to say little as it's in a disrespectful way,
Right.
but
When
you
you
do
finish,
have some things that you're
Yeah.
trying. So just plug what you got going on.
Okay, so I'm trying to get into my creator bag. Okay. You can follow me on Instagram at alexis.janaya. You can find me on YouTube at alexis.janaya. Now I don't have no videos posted. I don't. But we take it one step at a time.
that's all
Um
we can do.
and my Facebook is Janaya Dorsey. My Snapchat is Janaya Alexis. Um I'm basically trying to like break out of a social shell that I've been in for a really long time. And I have the lifestyle for the content creating, so why not? I'm just trying something new. See if I like it, don't like it. I mean, if I like it, I'm going to go forward. If I don't like it, it's fine. But
At
nothing be
least you tried.
right.
Absolutely.
Shout out to that. Shout out to it. You gotta
Said
take
that's
a
what the
step.
great Pharaoh Queen be saying. Nothing beats a Pharaoh by the try.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got some
Hello, the
videos.
world first prince said hello.
Luke be like, Ruby, you need to post it.
I be trying to tell it, y'all. I'm trying to tell her. But I take my hat off to her because you think about how many people have, student debt and loans and it's so many things out here you can do in life. You don't have to put yourself in bad situations. But what I like about content creating is that it doesn't take a lot to start. It's not a bad financial decision. And I don't care what you do in life, don't make bad financial decisions to do it. It doesn't equate. Some people then went into debt because they thought, oh, I wanted to go to school for this and I want to do that. And then they changed their mind two, three times. But I like when I see people, saying, hey, you know what? This is something I can do. It's not going to take too much time out. Really don't cost you any money. But like you say, you never know. It could be something that changed your whole life. And a lot of people are inspired from content creations because it's more real than like TV shows. All that stuff is starting to die out. People like to see the realness, which is why we here on the Pharaohs podcast. We're trying to step into that market too. But I definitely want to encourage you, Ruby, to just keep going. I think it's a great decision. Um, and you never know who you might. It could be somebody. I always say this when I talk to Solomon. It could be somebody in China. You might change their life.
Hmm.
Sometimes creating these videos and encouraging people or having good words to say, or even like we do here on Pharaoh's podcast, we might have encouraged somebody to do something. Or we might have encouraged somebody not to take their. I mean, sometimes you don't know the impact you have by just speaking or being alive and showing what you're doing. So, we all about positivity over here. So definitely go forth with it. You don't know who life you might change. You don't know. They might be in Switzerland somewhere. They might be in Afghanistan. I don't know. But the world is now our oyster as Coptic people. We are no longer bound to the prison of Chicago.
Hmm.
Okay? We are not prisoners of a Halsted
Amen.
street. We're not prisoners of Stony
Nah, you
Island.
gotta be the masters of it.
Yes,
You don't
yes,
be
we're
the
not
prisoners, you be the
Hey,
master
that
of it.
Luke, you just said something that somebody told me earlier about somebody opening up a church on Halsted, and I'm like, what is that? The only street that got that Coptic people look down for churches?
And
we
look,
we
that
we
might be the
knocking down
only one that
doors
got
over here
that
at
got
Pharaoh's Podcast.
what you got? Ashland, you got Halsted, you got but I don't know, cause every street, you got the bigger streets, but sometimes with those streets, I'm the ones that got the properties on them, cause they bad.
True, true. But I mean, with the way Ruby going is by her being an empress, and even with just her expressing her life, even with us doing the Pharaoh's podcast, people get a glimpse in what our teachings have taught us from what we talk about. We might be talking about other subjects, but the way we carry ourselves, the way we move, it gives an example of our way of life. And even though we all in different places doing different things, there's this common thing that we like what Queen Capitan say, I'm gonna tell the world. But I want to show the world because I personally believe if Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram and TikTok was around, Prophet Cicero would have been somebody with millions of subscribers. He would have capitalized off of the ability to spread this faith and through the message that has been given. It's just during those times we
Facts.
didn't have that. So by Ruby being one of the empresses that's like, hey, I want to show my life. I want to show, like I say, that's what we supposed to be doing. Teaching comes in so many different ways, but we breaking the barriers of it just being in a one place. We trying to reach everybody all over the world. So that's why I say go forth with it, Ruby. Because I believe we've been taught and we've been given something that's very unique, but we gotta spread the word. We can't just do it here in Chicago. Like Solomon and Israel, they're in the South. We gotta have people doing things that will expand it for the long run. And if we don't take advantage of the tools that's given to us, what makes us think we worthy to call ourselves a nation? I want one day for it to be a Coptic Bitcoin. I want it to be a coin like everybody else do it. We need to get on board and so we can expand it. You know what I'm saying? So the babies can have a little something, something when we long in the grave. They can say, y'all remember when the Pharaohs podcast first came out back then and then, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think big when it comes to this media stuff because I believe we've got a good message to spread to the world. You know.
Yeah. We busy, and we have officially ran 10. So I want to thank you for coming on to the podcast to talk to us. Um, did you want to say anything? I can give you the time right now if you want to say anything when it came to or it comes to the Dr. Candace, Imperial Candace Empress Queen Shifara.
My bad. You was breaking up. You was talking to me.
Yeah, I'm
I
talking
heard
to you.
it, but you was breaking up a little bit. Of course. Oh, what can I say about my grandma? I'll just start by saying one, I'm honored to be her granddaughter. It's amazing seeing the impact that she's made on so many people's lives just by the anointing that God placed over her life. Um, it's crazy when people stop you in the street and they be like, "You Empress Shifra granddaughter, or you Shalom daughter," and you be like, "Yeah," and it's just like some of these people may not even be in church anymore, but some people they forget they hear singers, but to know that my grandmother was truly loved. Don't get me wrong, she had her haters, but the love was top tier. Like when I say people love my grandma, they show her love. Um, she was a phenomenal mother, grandmother. She always provided for her family, even as a woman, and she also was a great first lady. Like I had a double whammy, having her as a grandmother, a teacher, and a first lady. Great,
That's a
like
triple one.
a
That's
triple.
a triple whammy.
Like, she was, and then it was the way she talked to people. Like sometimes it's not what you say, it's about how you say it, and that's something that
Hmm.
treat people the way you want to be treated. It takes nothing to be loved and kind to someone. You do more damage trying to be mean and evil than you do just loving people, and that's something that she instilled with me. Like I used to have, like, I don't know, I used to be a little crazy when I was younger, and it was like my grandmother would sit and have conversations with me. I would be acting out in school, and it's different when your grandma whoop you. Like my granny did when it got the better of me. Like it hit different, but
Hmm.
she was definitely a very virtuous woman. I must say that, and she just stood on what she believed in. Like she didn't, nothing came before God, and I feel like that's what allowed her to be so blessed and be an overcomer. Like my grandma, she still is our miracle. because a lot of people counted her out because of her health many, 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 many years ago. And I'm sure probably even before I was born. But to be able to, still have her at the time that we did, and her getting to meet my son. At the time I only had Tyshawn, and seeing the impact that the babies make, Kim and Matt, Skylar, just them sharing that tender love and the innocence, it, like, I don't know, it moved her in a different way. But to sum it all up, my grandmother was a phenomenal woman. Like, she could check you and you'd be like, dang, did I really just get checked? Like, yeah, you got checked, but just in a nice way. Her tone of voice, her patience
I
with,
said that earlier.
and the way that she carried herself as a woman, that automatically, like, what, top tier. She did not play. She did not play. Like, you gonna wear your slip, you gonna be properly dressed as a woman. But that is, I appreciate a lot of what my grandmother taught me, because it is evil people out here in this world, but I feel like because God placed her in my life, I can overcome what evil people do. And she always taught us, keep God first. Like, that is the biggest blessing. My grandmother coming into this way of under Prophet Cicero and being at the prayer house, like, she was like, she really wanted him. Like, she's really one of them. But that's definitely something I really appreciate, her keeping us in church. And as a child, you don't understand, but when you become an adult and you see the world for what it really is, it's like, I'm nothing without God. So I love my grandma. Her spirit gonna always live through me, my family, and she gave us an amazing grandfather. Her introducing him to this way of life, I'm telling you, it's chef's kiss.
And
Yeah, and the Candace Queen was amazing. I love to
Yeah.
hear her sing, and you could tell for real, like, really what type of woman she was, what type of role model she was, based off this from a male perspective here, looking off of who she taught and them taking in their teaching.
mm-hmm.
And you can tell her morals and values from that right there. Who was taking in their teaching from her, and based off how they were living their life from being
Yeah.
taught by her.
And if anybody
That's
know Israel Father, he ain't no easy person. He is indeed a general. But I mean, I've seen him actually, like, that's the only person I could ever think I've ever really seen him be like, okay, Queen. Like, for real, like, he'd be like, all right. I've seen my granny have to go in sometimes with Pre Samuel. But it was just the way she did stuff. It was like, even my grandfather, some of the most people who they're strong headed. But she found a way to be able to get her point across without, stepping outside of who she was. And I think she does embody the ultimate sense of femininity,
I was gonna
because
say divine feminine
yeah,
energy.
she was like a divine, like, creature for real. Like, people,
Divine
like, she
feminine
couldn't
energy.
beat, but I've seen her break some people down in the softest voice.
Yeah.
Like some of the most strong-headed, tough guys and big macho people. Like I've seen, and I'll say this: when my grandmother passed away, I ended up taking her phone. Something happened to one of my phones, and I remember using her phone for a little bit. So when I used her phone, I went in, I had access to all of the stuff she had before she passed away. And I was going through her Facebook, and her message, I kid you all not, her messenger was filled from people, I mean, people not even Coptic. It was people from all over the world. I kid you all not. All over the world. The words you post on Facebook, just your nice, kind stuff. I came across your page and I mean, these were people, white people, Asian people, and I'm just looking like, I didn't even know my grandmother was encouraging all of these people all over the world. So it was just like, it was so amazing to just see that, and to just hear how all these people got a blessing from her teachings and a love, and just, hey, I love our way of life. It has created some phenomenal women. Some phenomenal black women have been created from the Coptic way of life, and she ain't play about her God. She ain't play. So
Well, with that being said, thank you, Empress Ruby, for coming and stopping by and talking
No
to us and chatting
problem.
with us. for the podcast. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you welcome to always come by anytime.
Right, don't make it too long again, Ruby. You've been gone. It's a minute. Don't go ghost on us for a while. You got.
I got y'all. I got y'all. I got y'all. I promise. I ain't gonna go ghost.
All right.
But I
Well, good
thank
night.
y'all for having me. I definitely enjoyed y'all podcast. I'll be tuned in though. I might have to leave back out, but I try to be consistent with, listening to the different segments that you all be having. And y'all are doing a really good job. So I
Thank
thank
you,
y'all for this
Thank you.
time.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
thank you, thank you, thank you.
we gonna hit you up later. All right, fellas. Well, this was a great episode.
Yeah,
You
y'all know
know,
we all go in when Ruby get on the line. That's why I told her don't make it too much long. Yeah, y'all know, brothers. Y'all know we gonna have to help her when she get hers up and going. Maybe we could be her guest one
for sure.
time.
Oh, she know I'm already gonna help her, so
Yeah, I know I'm down
that ain't
for it.
even a question. That ain't even a question. Family, thank you for tuning in to episode 46 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I am your host, Solomon, and you can find me on Facebook at Cornelius Solomon Walker. You can find me on Instagram at CJ Walker 103. And if you want to get your book published, you feel like you think that you need to write and be creative and tell the world about some stuff that you got going on, you can email me at cwalker1582 at gmail.com. Okay. I have my book
Support your people.
available online right now. You can order it on Amazon. It is entitled "There Are Only 9 Numbers: A Book of Numerology." Okay, so I wrote this book, broke some numbers down to you that you can use in your daily life. Some things, a reason of some of your characteristics of why you do some of the things that you do. Okay, we do. Listen, I'm still a prophet. Okay, might not say it too much on here all the time, but you know we we do some deep diving and doing some readings and stuff, and we get to we let the spirit talk to us for y'all. So if you want to get a copy of my newest book, There Are Only 9 Numbers, it is on Amazon, available right now. Israel, where can people find you?
What's good? Y'all can find me at jonathanjohnson61.com. Y'all can find me at the Pharaohs Podcast. You can email me. And y'all can get a copy of one of my books, Love Poems for the Streets. Y'all see that? I think y'all can see it somewhere. Somewhere. There we go. Yeah, Love
There we
Poems
go.
for the Streets. Yeah.
Luke, where can people find you? You got anything going on with the Love Lifted Me
Love
Foundation?
Lifting Me Foundation right now. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of clothes I'm still trying to get rid of. So you can hit me at Luke733 leader number 9 at gmail.com. If you got some boys, I got boys clothes right now between the age of 7 and 11. I got gym shoes and pants and stuff like that. So if it's anybody in the Chicago area, or even if you're not in the Chicago area and you need something, definitely reach out to me. I'll get it packaged up, send it out to you. That'll be on me just out of the love. That's what we do over here. But I really want to get rid of a lot of that stuff. So hit me up at Luke733 leader number 9 at gmail.com if you know anybody needing some clothes, especially any boys' clothes. Summertime coming around. They may need some outside gym shoes, some play gym shoes. I got all kind of stuff right now. Other than that, any inquiries as far as content creation is concerned, the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com is another place you can reach me or any of the other Pharaohs on here. And again, like Solomon and Israel say, we appreciate you all so much. We love you all. And we look forward to keep building.
Yes. Also, real
Family.
quick,
Oh,
hold up.
Go ahead.
Part 2 of Christ Divine 25th anniversary on Saturday, 9050 South Ashland in Chicago. And the Atonement, also the True Temple of Faith, Love, and Hope, I believe.
I think
Is that?
so. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Atonement. They are having the Atonement on Sunday, April 13th, this Sunday coming up. Yes. So
Dang, I should
support
have
your
slid.
people.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yes.
should have
Support your
slid.
people.
I was gonna say, oh, you made me forget what it was. It was gonna be family. If you can't join us on Mondays, uh, every Tuesday, okay, the Pharaohs Podcast is on Spotify. All right. So if you can't see our faces, but you want to hear our voices, the audio version is on Spotify, and we are working on getting it on Apple Podcasts for sure. Um, I think that's it. I probably, if I forgot, I'm probably gonna say it next week. But family, peace.
Peace. A-Town down.